Hi, I'm Michelle Karam with Dishes by Michelle in Los Angeles, California. One side dish that you are sure to find on just about every single Christmas holiday table this year is mashed potatoes. Well, you don't want to serve your guests just any mashed potatoes, and these happen to be my favorite once a year red rustic mashed potatoes. So you could probably make these mashed potatoes just about all year round, but I like to kid my family and say they're real special and I make them just one time a year. And probably because I use red russet potatoes. Now normally when I use these, I peel these potatoes, but what makes these rustic is that I leave the skin on. And I don't tell them this secret, but it's fairly easy to make. So it's really basic. And I have some water going over here, and I'm just going to go ahead and start quartering my potatoes. Now you want to try to use potatoes that are all just about the same size, that when you quarter them, they all cook at about the same time. As I go, I'm just going to throw them into my water. I've also washed these potatoes before I've put them in to make sure that I remove any excess dirt, since we are not removing the skin. And these potatoes will probably take anywhere from about 15 to 20 minutes to cook, and you don't want to put it on a super high boil. You want to make sure that it kind of stays at a medium simmer because you don't want the potatoes to break and fall apart inside of there. So I've drained my potatoes, and the next thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and mash them, skin and all. And already, just like this, they're pretty great on their own, but now we're going to make them even better. So they're all mashed now, and we're just going to add our butter, and I just have half a stick of butter over here. Now don't freak out about the butter because it's just one time a year that I make this. So we're going to just go ahead and kind of cover it a little bit with the potatoes so that it goes on in there and melts. And then I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of heavy cream, and I have about 2 tablespoons of sour cream. I've got just a little bit of white pepper. I don't like to use black pepper in my mashed potatoes because who wants to see little black flecks? I use white pepper, and it's also got a little bit more of a subtle taste of the pepper to it. It's not as overwhelming. So I'm just going to put just a tiny bit of black pepper, white pepper. And then I have just a little bit of salt. And let's give this a quick mix. And these potatoes are just so fantastic because they're creamy. The sour cream actually really adds some more depth to the potatoes. The whipped cream really keeps it even more creamy than it already is. The skin on just adds that real earthy flavor to it. Now, there are so many things you could do to these potatoes from this step alone. My family, we like them just like this, and this is probably how we would eat them. But you could go ahead and roast some garlic, or you could get some fresh rosemary from your garden, or you could maybe get some smoked Gouda or some smoked cheddar cheese, and you can put it on top of there and let it melt on top. These potatoes can go from a plain ordinary side dish to the star on your table in a matter of seconds by just adding a few more simple ingredients. So one of my favorite things about this dish is that there's not a whole lot to it. It's potatoes, and who knew that potatoes could be so versatile, and who knew that you could make mashed potatoes without all that fuss and muss of getting out a blender, a mixer, and all those things. This dish just required a little bit of arm muscle, and potato has gone from 0 to hero in about a second. I'm Michelle Karam with Dishes by Michelle. Thank you so much for watching my recipe on rustic mashed potatoes. So good.